All right, thanks for tuning in to another edition of Jets FM on the OFN as the Jets lose 30-10 to Arizona. And I wasn't sure if I was going to do the show because we all kind of knew the results last week, but I figured I have one more of these to do on my own. Hopefully, Jan will be back for the rest of the season starting next week. The Jewish holiday calendar will permit him to do shows starting next week, so thank goodness for that. All right. Let's get into what happened here. First of all, the Jets are now 0-7 without Sam Darnold, and I'm not really sure what that says. Look, to me, it's a good thing for Sam Darnold, that's for sure. Not that he has been looking all that great lately, but I also think this helps Sam because it wasn't like Perryman played, Mims played, Bell played, Becton played, Flacco played, and then all of a sudden the offense moved and people started to think that it was all Sam Darnold's fault. So Flacco gets to play with the same garbage that Darnold was playing with, and it's the same thing too. And this is why I would really hope that when you're watching this every week, whoever is still watching these shows every week, I would understand the way this team is going. And since I'm not on the bash Adam Gase bandwagon like everybody else, you're if you're looking for that, you're not going to get it here. At least not yet, because the players aren't healthy. And we certainly hope that that's the case, because I do want a fair judgment on Adam Gase by the end of the season, with at least half the season of a majority of the key healthy players here. That's very important. Not important to me. It's important for the organization, because they have to try to figure out what is the main problem here. Is there a main problem, or is it just, hey, we're rebuilding and we're all a part of this? So that's why getting guys healthy is going to be extremely important. But it didn't matter with Flacco in there, and I don't think it did. But I think what you saw out there was, you saw the team that we've been watching every week. I think if you think about it, every loss that this team has had, every single one of them, this team has had the opportunities to get them back into the game, to make it a 4-quarter game, which a lot of games have been in the NFL the last several years, and then see what you got. But they make so many stupid plays because they're not good players that they can't get there. And I'm sorry that there are a lot of fans that can't get through it's the coach's fault deal. But if you're watching this show, most of you people aren't going to go down that road every time, and good for you. So if you do that, and you try to do what I'm doing, which is watching these games and trying to figure out, okay, are there certain players, because that's all we can do right now, is try to judge which players are going to be here for the long haul, and which players look like either they're crap or, hey, I thought we had something there, Chris Herndon, and now we don't. And when I watch these games too, I don't watch them when you watch most games with your team where you're thinking, hey man, I'm upset at the coach because he's not calling these plays. See, I'm not there because the team isn't capable to be there yet where I'm going to judge the coach on plays and, why didn't he do that? And I hope we can get there. Nothing more than I would like to get there where we're nitpicking play calling. Sure, we can sit there and go, I find it funny how they're going to nitpick, they handed the ball off to the fullback, who's hadn't had a run maybe in his career and on third down, and then get stuffed on fourth. Well, first of all, just so you know, I was watching the Raiders-Chief game because I watch a lot of games, ton of games, because that's what you're supposed to do. And the Raider game, almost the same scenario came up. Third down, 3rd and 1. Gruden hands it off to the fullback. goes nowhere. Fourth down, he hands it off to, I believe I'm pretty sure the next play was a handoff to Jacobs because they got the first down. They get the first down. The point is that that's what's going to happen when you want to bash on a coach. You're going to try to nitpick the plays because remember last week in the Denver game, what was one of the criticisms of Gase? Play calling. You didn't go for it on fourth down. What did I say? Because he can't trust them to get a yard. That's why. And as the game was going, it made more sense to just kick the field goal. You were playing good defense. You had all the momentum. Why screw with that? And yes, you didn't trust him to get 1 yard. So what happens in this game? 4th and 1. And by the way, against Denver, I didn't want him to go for it. I thought it was a smart call. Kick the field goal. That's fine. In this one, you had to go for it. There was no question in my mind. You had to go for it. And they couldn't get the first down. So, I mean, which way do you want to have it, But this is why he have trust his guys to get it last time. And you know what? If it's the same situation where it's late in the game and he has to decide, do I kick the field goal, keep us in this game? We've got the momentum. He's going to kick a field goal again, especially after seeing that he tried to give him the opportunity to get a yard and couldn't. And that was a funny thing because they actually ran the ball pretty well in the game when they needed to. The running game was not the problem. And to tell you the truth, I think they actually did a decent job early on when Arizona couldn't tell if the Jets were going to run or pass in pass protection. When Flacco's pass protection broke down, it was because he looked at his first guy and his second guy and his third guy, and then he ran out of options. And that's going to happen when you don't have good receivers who can't get open. All right? And, let's go into the game here because we could break this stuff down. So Fant plays left tackle, Adoga right tackle. And like I said, I don't care what even Pro Football Focus says about how guys did. I thought the offensive line did well enough. Okay. Were they great? No. But like I said, did they give Flacco enough time until later in the game when Arizona knew all they were going to do was pass the ball? Yeah, I think they did a pretty good job. So considering Fant was the right tackle, now he's playing left tackle. Adoga's a backup playing right tackle. I think they did a pretty decent job. So Flacco, very first play of the game, and the dude's wide open, and it's like this is like the Buffalo game. Opening game. Wasn't that like the very first play in the Buffalo series week 1? Sam Darnold kind of throws the ball and is like, where are you throwing the ball? The guy's right there. Now, Flacco was rolling out, and Darnold's probably a little bit more of an athlete in rolling out these days than Flacco, but it was like, okay, here we go. He's already missing wide open guys. Then he gets it to Crowder on 3rd down, and Crowder can't get the first down. That was a play where he did a good job later on, obviously we'll get to, but he had an opportunity to get a first down there and he couldn't do it. And all of a sudden, there you go, you're done. Then there was a very good play by McDougal, one of the first very good plays McDougal's made since he's been here, on the 3rd down play when Murray was pressured and he just chucked it up there. McDougal made a really good play on that. And by the way, they spied Murray on that play and much better job in this game by Greg Williams spying, not allowing Murray to run around than the Buffalo Allen game. So we'll see what happens when Allen plays. But the Jets, the DBs, you have a couple of injuries with these DBs and you're playing Lamar Jackson out there. And you know what? Maybe Lamar Jackson will turn into a good player in a couple of years. But this is what it's about. Maybe it's okay. Give him some playing time. See if he can become a player. But, Desir and Jackson and those guys are pretty much getting torched, even though, look, 380 yards passing is terrible. But they only gave up 1 touchdown pass. And that touchdown pass was a jump ball. So, which one of the elite receivers in the game comes down with. So as far as giving up touchdown passes, and overall, I think the defense actually kept the Jets in the game for as long as they could. And they just couldn't do it enough. Then you had the drop, the next, I think it was the next series, and you had Smith dropping the first down right in his hands. This is right there. Dropped the ball. Yeah. Arizona's touchdown run, broken record with Leighton Hewitt and Williamson. As Hewitt gets sealed off, Williamson gets cut block. Shoot, touchdown. More on those two guys later. Flacco on third down. I think it was the next series. He overthrows the dude on third. So you're getting Flacco bad passes. You're getting guys dropping passes. You're getting Flacco bad passes. I mean, it just goes on and on. Then they got stopped on 4th and 1 on that really good drive. Then they got the one good play on defense by the two players who will not be here starting for them next year, and that's Hewitt and Williamson. Hewitt blocked the pass, and Williamson returned it to the 10. But because this is the 0-4 Jets, and I think this is just I didn't like this after the first year. I thought when it happened initially, I thought it was, that's kind of cool. The players are trying to take a picture, and that's kind of cool for them. Okay, nice. The longer it goes on, I think it's silly. But when you're 0-4 and you're about to go 0-5, you're already losing. You're 0-4 losing at 0-5. You make one play on the year, and you run up to the camera and take a picture with a big smile on your face? Really? Seriously? Okay. Hope Joe Douglas is watching because I know he is. Those are the players we want on our team moving forward. Personal accomplishments mean a lot to those guys, huh? Because it ain't helping them winning football games. And then to start the drive, the veteran Super Bowl championship quarterback, Joe Flacco, lets the clock run out. I mean, we're all going, what are you doing? The clock's running out. Dude, what are you doing? The clock's run. You just gave up 5 yards. You just did that. And of course, he throws the ball away on second down. And on third down, he tries to hit Smith in the corner of the end zone. Not DeAndre Hopkins, not Brashad Perryman. But Smith. That's the personnel we have, man. I don't know what you expect these guys to do. I just don't. That's who he's throwing to. So we settled for a field goal at 7-3, and then we gave up a 3rd and 15 on the next drive when it looked like maybe we get a little momentum. But of course, we never can sustain any little piece of positivity. And that was when Jenkins got fake. Now, actually, it was 3rd and 15. That was the touchdown, right? I'm trying to remember my notes. Oh, that's right. Yes. So they give up the 3rd and 15, and that's the drive Arizona scored another touchdown to go up 14-3. So they get the ball down to whatever it was, the 5-yard line. And did you notice? So Murray rolls out, and Jenkins gets totally faked out by Murray, and the dude is wide open for a touchdown. And the first thing Jenkins turns around, he wants to start yelling at somebody. I reviewed the tape. Now, I really would like to know how it wasn't Jenkins' fault. Because I'm reviewing the tape, and I'm going, okay, you're the only one there. And if you would have made the smart decision, either way, that's your job to not leave guys wide open. But he's looking to blame someone else. That he's had a really good year. It was great to bring him back because he won't be back next year. They can do a lot better. And then how about Herndon? Herndon, it's 14-3, and he almost fumbled the ball. It was like, don't tell me I got to come back on the show again and say for the 4th week now, Chris Herndon has now fumbled the ball away as we're trying to come back. But hey, he saved his worst. He saved the weak Herndon for later. So in the second half, we had a Franklin Myers sack, and he has been the bright spot the new bright guy on the defensive line. Good to see. Remember, this is a pretty high pick for the Rams. I believe it was a 4th rounder. Got talent. Rams had a boatload of talent on the defensive line. They just couldn't find room for him. I think this is what happens. Sometimes you got to take advantage of these situations. This is a player to keep an eye on. And the more this kid plays, the better. So hopefully, a Franklin Myers, a Basham, these are a couple of guys that could be a part, because they're not going to be star players. But what you want is you want the Bashams and the Franklin Myers of the world, those guys, to be solid role players, like really good role players. That's what we're trying to build here with those guys, because so far those are the ones that are doing it. And you want Quinnen Williams, obviously, to be the star of the middle, depending on what you run on the line, of course. But until the team gets some pass rushers, then it's all for naught, really. Then we get the ball back, and it's like, okay, maybe we get some momentum again, right? No, because Hogan on 2nd down turns and just runs out of bounds a yard short of the 1st down. It's like, dude, you aren't playing for the Patriots anymore. I know 3rd and 1 with the Patriots, is like 1st down. You don't have to worry. But this is the Jets, dude. You cannot just run out of bounds and expect that we're going to pick the 1st down up, which of course we didn't. Once again. And who was it? I don't know if I don't have my roster here. Who was the dude? Yeah, I think I do. Nope. Not it. I have it here somewhere though. I don't know where. Anyway, who was the guy that looked like he was going to block the punt? Because it really looked to me like that was going to be a block punt. It's like, how in the world did you not block? It looked like the dude was, and I think it was 41, I think. And I can't keep count of these guys with unless I do have a roster. It looked like he was more concerned with not running into the kicker. It was like if he just would have not worried about running into the kicker, he could have easily blocked it. And it was he went this way, went at an angle instead of coming forward. And it was, of course, man. See, this is what we talk about with Boyer can only put these guys into the position. And by the way, last week, I remember when Carolina came in and blocked the punt, it went for like 20 yards, but they blocked it. And I was like, oh, that's interesting. I wonder if Boyer's looking at that. Now, I don't know if it was the same exact blocking scheme, but sure enough, our jet guy comes in, has a great chance to block our punt. No, don't even block it. Nothing. So that's talent. They just don't have it. Crowder made a really good 53-yard catch that got them into position, and then Herndon dropped the easiest pass of his career. And the dude is done, man. Psychologically done. What did I say last week to Jan? I don't want to hear about Herndon. I know they have nothing else to do but try to get him out of the funk. But I think it would be better for the team and for him is to sit him down for a week or two, I think. And he's too talented. Something is going on with this kid. It's just amazing. So we have a guy, one of our talented guys, that's not injured. One of our receivers. Actually, besides Crowder, even Crowder missed a game or two, but he's been the only receiver, starter, that hasn't been injured and missed the game the entire season, and he's been downright awful. You can't catch anything hardly. I mean, now anytime he gets the ball thrown to him, it's a 50-50 shot, and even when he does get the ball thrown to him, you got to keep your fingers crossed he doesn't fumble the ball. Same drive, they bailed Herndon out, 3rd and 4. Again, excellent pass protection. And Flacco couldn't find someone and just picked up the 1st down on the run. On the next play, Crowder got the touchdown. And it was a really nice pass by Flacco. Guy was in his face, still able to throw the ball right to Crowder, and Crowder made a nice play in the end zone. And by the way, it is 17-10. Jets have a shot here. It's 17-10. Have we not seen this before? And this is what I'm trying to say. If the coach was as bad as everybody says they are, with the lousy players they have, they would be getting blown out like early in these games, and they would never be a part of it. That's why they want to compare like to the Rich Kotite era. A lot of fans haven't been around that long, but you go ahead, play some Rich Kotite era stuff. Go and see what the roster looked like during the Rich Kotite era. That was garbage galore combined. That's why you go 0-16. You only go 0-16 when your coaching staff is terrible and your players are terrible. And that was this team would beat that team. I'd say like 27-10, something like that. But this team doesn't just, it's not like when you watch these games against certain competition. Now you play the better teams, it's different. But when you play Arizona, when you play Denver, when you play those teams, you don't feel like the Jets. Sure, you're like, we're going to blow it somehow. I get that because that's what's happening because we don't have the personnel. But you don't automatically go in and go, we got no chance. This team stinks. There's just no way it's 0-16. And if you think that way, then I'm sorry, you just don't know football. So what's happening is they are the team is being put in position to win. And yes, can the coach make better calls and do better? Of course he can. They wouldn't be 0-5 if he didn't need to be better. You can't grade the GM. Sorry, can't. I don't care what anybody says because he's got a long-term plan. And people would, you should have done this to make you should have signed Robbie Anderson. So this is. We'll worry about that in a couple of years, okay? In 2 or 3 years, if this team is heading in that direction of the master plan, then you can't go back to this season and complain over it. And again, though, just like everybody, hey, could he have brought this in or that in or made the team better? Sure, I guess could have, maybe, yeah. Hey, Ballage, what was he doing here? That was a bad move. Gase and Ballage and Douglas. If the guy's not any good and he shouldn't be here, then that's Douglas's job to override Gase because Douglas gets the last call on those decisions. But I'm just making a point is that there are certain players, personnel that sure. I'm not talking about signing Robbie Anderson. I'm just talking about the little things. Like, hey, couldn't we have better receiver in here? I mean, couldn't you find someone of somebody's practice squad be better than this crap? Maybe you could make a trade for a young receiver, give up like a 7th round draft pick or something and just give us a chance. I don't know. I mean, maybe he's not doing everything he can, or maybe he is. Maybe he's. I don't really care about that. I'm building to the future, and I am grading these young guys and see what we got here. These are the guys I want here. Sure, maybe we can bring in another guy and he can be better, but that guy that I'm thinking of bringing in that could possibly make us better, I don't like him. I don't think he's the type of guy that I want around here. He doesn't fit our culture. Anyway, so there's about 6 minutes left in the third quarter. It's still a game. Again, it's still a game. Again, the Jets have a chance to make some plays and to put themselves in position to win a game. And then on 4th and 1, once again, it's Jenkins. And 4th and 1, Jenkins decides to let the tight end go wide open. Sorry, man. Did you turn? I didn't see him turn around and blame anybody in that play. Dude is wide open. You let him wide open. Sorry. You're doing a really good job, Jenkins. Your time with the Jets is almost over. And then Hogan gets injured. Another receiver goes down. You are down, man. You are wearing Jet colors. You are a receiver. You must be down. Whew. And at that point, you're going, okay, so we don't have a starting quarterback. We don't have our top two outside wide receivers. Our tight end can't catch anything. Our star left tackle rookie's isn't playing. I mean, what are we doing here? Smith, by the way, dropped a perfect over the shoulder pass for a touchdown from Flacco. Look, Smith is a nice little player, and all he is a nice little number 5 receiver on a winning team. That's all he is. Nice little 4 to 5 receiver on a winning team. That's all he could be. He's got good speed. You can. I honestly think he's. I would think he probably looks like a guy that's better to play in the slot. But we have Crowder, and we have Berrios. It's like the talent level as far as our small, speedy receivers are fine, but you can't run an offense with a bunch of small, speedy receivers. This isn't the old Houston. What were those days? The Houston Cougar days. What was that offense called again? Man, what was that offense called? Houston. Run and shoot. I think that was the run and shoot, right? I think so. And then that was the ball game. They went down and scored, and it was the ball game. You knew it was the ball game. So I don't like the fact that Perine didn't get any snaps. Don't like that. I think Gaze is making a big mistake. As I said last week, I just can't stand when coaches do that. And I've seen it happen just way too many times over the years. Gaze isn't the last to do it. They get personally attached to these veterans because they're around them every day and they do a great job in practice and they're great role models and they're great character guys and it's what you want on your team. And you kind of feel obligated to get them out there and get them some carries because, hey, you did a good job for us and practice and building this team up. Maybe he can be an assistant coach when he retires here. Don't be surprised. But you're taking carries away from Perine. And at some point, that has got to change. Now, maybe it will. A couple more games, slowly but surely. The writing will be on the wall, even with Gore. And Gase will have to, hey, we got to play the young kid. Maybe it's too early in the season. You don't want to let veteran guys think you're giving up. But at some point, by mid-season, the latest, you've got to get Perine in there to get number 2 carries. Got to see what you have there. Perryman, it's still looking like Mims is ahead of Perryman at this point. We're playing the Dolphins next week, which actually, that's a good thing. The back-to-back, the Dolphins by Dolphins thing was just a weird thing I did not want to have to see that I was going to see, and I'm glad I'm not going to have to see now. But now we get to play the Dolphins after the biggest win of the Flores era, which I'll talk about on All Dolphins Talk with Alan Pupar coming up on our Wednesday show. So that'll be a lot of fun. And yeah, so if you want to find out about the Dolphins Jet game, we'll talk about that. I'll talk some Jet stuff on All Dolphins Talk with Alan because I'm not going to waste my time on another Jet preview show to preview the Dolphins game. Because one of these a week is enough for me. I got a lot of other things going on that we're trying to, we're building a network here. Got a lot of things going on. A lot. Anyway, Jets lose again. What's the big surprise? Jets lose another receiver. What's the big surprise? And we'll see what happens with the Dolphins this week. So Jan will be with me on Sunday to recap the Dolphin game. And we'll see if Darnold plays. Look, to tell you the truth, I don't care right now if Darnold or Flacco plays in the next week or two. I just want to get Becton back. I want to get Mims and or Perryman back this week. I want to get one of those 2 receivers on the field this week. I want to get Becton back as soon as possible. That's what I want to see because you can't even, you have no chance with the personnel right now. None. And I missed I was trying to say, thought pattern went away earlier because I was trying to say something before about what you're getting out of watching these games. See, when I watch these games, it's not about wins and losses and even about I'm going to see if this player is good. It's just it's there's a realistic approach I have to watching these games that don't make me angry, like a lot of Jet fans want to get. And the realism is when I look at the players on the field, as I've said before, and I see Hewitt out there and Jenkins and all these weird DBs and you know, the NFL is so tough to win every week. And I was looking at Arizona's roster. And I know, look, I'm sorry, but Arizona is not a playoff team, even in the NFC, which is not as packed as the AFC. That's just not that team's got a ways to go. I'm not even still sold on Kyler Murray. I mean, Kyler Murray is probably be a nice starting quarterback in the NFL, but he's not going to be a special player. Not where he was picked. Hell no. So when I even look at Arizona's roster, I'm going, hey, if I'm an Arizona fan, I'm feeling like I was saying before about the attitude of, hey, it's on the coach now. It's on the play calls. And again, I don't like ripping coaches for play calling, but you get my point. It's about, hey, how play to play, who's making the plays? How's the coach making the call? You're invested in it fully because you have proper players on your team. Now, Arizona's still a few players away, but there are proper players on the team. You look at the roster, and you've got talented players on the team. Guys that are starter material in the NFL. Then I look at the Jets roster, and I'm looking at a bunch of guys. Sort of like, how I get a kick out of, there was somebody pointed out the Jets, the guys that they let go in the offensive line, how they're all playing for winning teams now. Yeah, like if you all put those guys together again, hey, the Jets offensive line would be really good. And Osemele got hurt again, by the way. So I'm sure you probably know by now. So with the players that the Jets have, like for instance, let's say Hewitt was cut, and then I don't know. Let's say there was a playoff team. I don't know. Let's say the Patriots. Patriots, hey, let's pick up Hewitt, and you start seeing it's sort of like Brooks. Brooks gets a little bit of playing time now, 20, 30, 40% of playing time with the Patriots. How'd that happen? Guys like that can fit in certain, percentage of snaps, even on winning teams. But it's like we have a bunch of guys that would be getting minimal snaps, and we're giving them full snaps. We're giving them Hewitt can't get off the freaking field all season. And the guy is not a starting caliber linebacker. He is just not. And we have tons of guys like that. And so that's why when I look at our team like that, it's like I'm not looking at our team. That's why I don't get invested and I'm not getting involved like a lot of you guys are in the anger, because this isn't our team. It's like watching exhibition games. It's like we're playing exhibition games, they're playing regular season games, because this isn't our team. These aren't our players. This isn't what we're going to win with. Be real. So, I'm watching games and I'm watching dudes left and right making these great catches, and the quarterback is just Derek Carr's chucking balls up, and guys are making these incredible catches. And Joe Flacco's chucking the ball up, and it's like, dude, you're going to try to catch the ball? Well, he's not that good. So it's, that's what I'm saying. I don't know what you expect from the coaching staff. I just don't. Sorry. As I said last week, and I'll keep saying it. The players, the majority of these guys, they suck. As starters, as full-time snap guys, they suck. I don't know. You have to understand that going in. It'll help you. I know everybody, we all want it now. just watch Clemson Trevor Lawrence games, will you? Because as long as now Jacksonville keeps losing, which is scary, and there are going to be teams competing with us. Like I said, you know what's going to happen. We're going to be right there. We're going to go into the final week with like the first pick in the draft, and then we're going to find some stupid way of winning week 17. Oh no, that's right. We're playing Patriots. Well, maybe the Patriots will already clinched a certain spot in the game. Doesn't mean anything, so they'll play Brian Hoyer. And we got Sam Darnold out there trying to win a spot, and all our healthy young guys are out there trying to win. And then we go out there and win, and then we get the second pick of the draft, and Trevor Lawrence goes to whoever. So, look, what I want to see is I want the young guys healthy, and I want Sam Darnold to go in there. And for the second half of the season, I want everybody that's important healthy on offense, and I want Sam Darnold to prove that he's our franchise quarterback, or at least it's looking like he's our guy. That's what I want. I don't want him to fail and us to get Trevor Lawrence. I want him to be our guy. But in order for that to happen, it's vital. That's why it's vitally important we get healthy, so we can figure out whether it's the personnel, whether it's the quarterback, whether it's the coach. And the only way we're going to figure it all out to the best of anybody's ability, owner, GM, is especially offensively, because that's where it's all about for Gase and for Darnold. They have to have a healthy cast. And that means more than anything, Perryman, Mims, Becton, those guys, Crowder, Bell, those guys. We can get those guys healthy for half a season. See what we got. Because that's all this is about right now. We'll see you again on Sunday. And Jan will be with me. I'm sure Jan will like that too. So Jets FM on the OFM. We'll see you next time.